non-duality is becoming a household word in places where interspiritual dialogue is a familiar phenomenon. So this, of course, is a big issue for all the religions, but I'll confine myself mostly to how it affects our Christian understanding of the transformative process. So non-duality is kind of a synonym for awakening or enlightenment as expressed in some of the other world spiritual traditions. I'll try to put this in a context of our scripture and tradition. And I suggest this as a way of opening us to this important and profound subject. The Christian tradition, as we experience it, or did experience it in early childhood, has little to say about non-duality. So it's a term that is a result of inter-spiritual dialogue with other world religions and sacred traditions. We're supposed to become a sacrament by being always in the presence of God and in relation to God. It's not a Sunday affair, it's not a good night prayer, it's not a wake-up prayer. It's all the time that is the goal, in which we are in God and our actions are motivated by the Spirit's movement and inspiration and guidance within us. It's Christ's teaching about what to do and how you follow him if you want to follow him, and where it goes into oneness with the Trinity and with the divine life. The doctrine of the divine indwelling is the way that this is usually expressed in Christian circles. Silence is this infinite, boundless presence of the ultimate reality in everything and in us. So then the non-dual functions begin to unfold, like seeing God in everyone else, in all creation, and having a capacity for moderation and for suffering with love. For these people, pain is joy. But to be a little clearer, pain is joy without ceasing to be pain. That's an important distinction, I think. Because one sees suffering or difficulties as problems, or rather not as problems. As long as you see it as a problem, you'll run away, which is the rational response. But if your consciousness is growing, you see it as a challenge and an invitation to sit with it and wait, and pretty soon the two conflicts begin to resolve, not on the rational level, because the rational level is always a level of opposites or duality, but on a non-dual level, even if it's only inchoate, you perceive that this apparent disaster, this contradiction of your heart's great love or whatever good work you're doing, as a challenge to move to a higher level of consciousness where the two are resolved in the light of that higher perspective. And they're not contradictory ultimately, but complementary. And so it's this level of consciousness that is so desperately needed in society or in the world or in politics.